Mark, thank you. Well, it is known as the most wonderful time of the year. However, gatherings and all of the holiday traditions can sometimes lead to sickness for many people. Recent data from the Centers for Disease Control show that influenza cases are on the rise, and Tennessee was at a high risk for influenza-like illnesses as of December the 9th. However, the State Department of Health put Northeast Tennessee at a moderate risk, but Sarah Boop, the Regional Communicable Environmental Diseases Director at the Northeast Regional Health Office, is with us this afternoon to share some tips on how to stay healthy this holiday season. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first off, we know that sickness is going around. It typically goes around this time of year, but all of these gatherings and all the get-togethers I know can sometimes make it worse. So what are some tips to avoid getting sick around this time of year?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking and for having me today.
Absolutely.
One of the big things that we like to talk about when it comes to this time of year is making sure that you're up to date for vaccines on, some of our major illnesses that we see going around this time of year. Mostly for us, that is flu, COVID, and RSV. And this is actually the first year that we have vaccines for all three of those respiratory illnesses. So making sure that you reach out to your local health department, your local pharmacy, your medical provider, and find out about their recommendations for you and your personal risk, and then schedule your appointment to make sure you're up to date on those vaccines. There are several other things that you can do this time of year as well. If you do start to feel sick, staying away from others, not attending those holiday parties and things like that. And then of course making sure that if you are coughing and sneezing and you're around others, that you're doing that into your elbow so you're not spreading germs, making sure you're washing your hands with soap and water. If that's not available, using a hand sanitizer that's at least 60% alcohol, so it really does kill the germs. And then just making sure you're generally trying to take care of yourself. It's a stressful time of year, so making sure that you're healthy so that you can avoid illness as best as possible.
And like you just mentioned, keeping up with your own health this time of year is difficult. Maybe you're out of your normal diet, out of your regular exercise routine, and of course schedules are just kind of crazy this time of year. What are some ways that folks can kind of stay on track with those healthy habits, like eating, making sure they're eating right, and continuing to exercise, things of that nature?
Yeah, one of the things that you really can do is it's really easy to overcommit yourself this time of year to a number of different things, and that can lead to stress. And as your stress goes up, your immune system function goes down. So making sure that you're really planning what you're doing, making sure you're taking time for yourself and not feeling like you have to necessarily attend every event. It's okay to say no if it means that you're taking care of yourself and your health, but making sure you're getting enough sleep. Sleep is really important for both physical and mental and emotional health. So making sure that adults are getting 7 or more hours of sleep. This time of year, there are all sorts of fun ways that you can kind of get out and get exercise and enjoy the holidays. So you can bundle up and head outside. We should have warmer weather in the next few days. Go visit the Christmas trees downtown, try to get out and get fresh air and exercise. And then of course there are all sorts of sweets and holiday goodies this time of year. If you're attending a holiday party, you're worried you might overeat, having a small healthy snack before you go, things like that can help stay on track with the holiday health.
Absolutely. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today, and of course for all of these tips. Hopefully these have helped somebody at home. And again, we appreciate you for coming up here on First at 4.